I used to be so mean. And when I think about how mean I used to be, I kind of cringe. I'm going to be honest with you. I grew up a Christian, and I grew up being told by God, because I kind of always had somewhat of an intimate relationship with God, and God would speak to me about things. And I used to kind of like have all these downloads. And instead of me approaching people with love with these downloads, I used to approach people with brutality and just brutal honesty, or, you know, just coming down so hard on people. And the thing is that my mum said to me that when I was a baby, she knew immediately that I was going to be a blessing. And she's like, your job as a blessing is to be blessed, to be a blessing, bless others. And that came in so many different forms. And the thing is that at some point I had a moment when I was like, I'm always there for people, but who's there for me? Nobody's there for me. And this was really a weapon of the enemy, because even if nobody's there for me, when I look back at it, God was always there for me. God was always providing. God was always making sure that I was okay. I literally never had nothing. There was times that I had little, but it's not like, I was, starving or anything like that. God always provided. God always protected me. But I was so stuck in my head that this moment when I was like, no, I'm going to start doing things for myself. I'm going to start ignoring people. I don't care about people. I don't want, to be this person that is so, invested in everybody's life. And the thing is that I am a natural empath. So I kind of feel people, like I feel their emotions. I feel what they're feeling. If somebody's crying, and I kind of know for the most part what they're dealing with, and the feeling is so intense, and I'm having to deal with that. And the thing is that before I truly submitted myself to Christ, I struggled with this feeling. I didn't know that I was supposed to approach people with love. I was approaching people with brutality because I hadn't really healed myself. I hadn't dealt with the pain that I was walking around with. I did 2 years of therapy. I had a special moment this year when I had a solo trip to Budapest, and God spoke to me when I was actually in the steam room, and it really just showed how mean I was. And the thing is that society tries to push being your authentic self. And the thing is that we're walking around with so much. Being your authentic self is a trap, because it's keeping you captive, it's holding you back. And I kind of had this download in the steam room of all the unforgiveness I was holding on to, and how I was approaching people because of the anger, because of the bitterness, and because of the unforgiveness. And God just freed me from it. I literally walked out of that steam room free. And it's mainly because to be honest, I was open to forgiveness at this point. I was open to being free from that. I'd say that the unforgiveness was really like a force on my life. So being freed from that, being delivered from that, was life changing. I was able to see things in a completely different light. I was able to enjoy certain people in a way that I couldn't enjoy them before. And that's simply because I forgave them, and I was able to reflect on the way that I would approach people. Like if somebody was telling me something, I would just come down on them, and I was thinking, why? And the thing is that society will tell you that you should just be you should be authentic. But really, like when you're at work or when you're in a professional setting, you always know how to mince your words. You always know how to, approach things with a bit of sensitivity. And that's how you should approach everything. You should definitely approach everybody with sensitivity, because you don't know what somebody's going through. And that was honestly like a game changer. I was thinking, why was I so mean? And the thing is, like, I see other people, and when I interact with other people, because definitely what you're walking around with the pain and all of that, it really affects how you interact with other people in the world. And when I interact with people that are also quite mean, I feel sorry for them, because I know that they're walking around with so much pain and they just need a big hug, but they're probably not going to accept the hug. But I just feel like when you're walking around with so much pain, it's quite clear and it's quite obvious. And I was literally a walking advert for pain. I was walking advert for trauma and all of that. And once God freed me from that, once God delivered me from that, I just felt free. And I just want, and I hope that if you're walking around with all that pain, I pray in the name of Jesus that you too can be free. I pray in the name of Jesus that you too can be delivered from that pain, so that you can enjoy life, so that you can experience life in its fullness. And God's got great plans for you. And God's really exposing his things, the things he wants to do for me now that I'm healed. So yeah, I hope the same for you.